Brothers and sisters, soldiers and soldierettes, I thank you, those that have been riding along with the brother. And why is that? Because you're a leader and a teacher with the student spirit. And if we are alive and breathing, we are back to conquer another day and another day and another day. So thank you for coming, for taking the time to listen to another edition of EBX Discussion. And you know we got to get to those honors. I honor thy ancestors, those righteous ancestors whose spirit is alive and well in many great brothers and sisters out here. Because when you're in that righteous space, that's what you will feel, that righteous spirit, and that's what you will be hungry to see. And, you know, it's a wonderful place to be when you have a success state of mind. But you won't know unless we are there. And we're going to get right to it. Appreciate the strong black man. You know, that's whether in our families, in the world, whether we connecting with brothers online, and just be appreciative because it's becoming a rarity. But they are out there. Again, when you're in that right circle, you'll see the strong black man. And I know there's different opinions on that word black and this and that and the third, but my opinion, oneself, I think it sounds powerful. The strong black man is powerful, you know. A lot of entities are afraid of that, those three words, strong black man. So one is going to take the time to appreciate the strong black man. And I consider oneself a strong black man, you know. Of course, some of us go through levels, and I can use myself as an example, of course, and, you know, like my son, and we all go through our different levels to get to being a strong black man. Sometimes we have to learn different things to build that strong black man. So always remember, never know what a brother has been through, young or old. You know, we try our best to assess, you know, try not to place judgment and understand that all of us has been through what? Some kind of conditioning. And this is my dad here on the banner. May he rest in peace and in power. His name was Louis T. Reed. And, you know, made some mistakes in his life, you know, as we all do. And, you know, the influences of the world and the swaying of the world, you know. But he lived a long life, and he did take care of, you know, some responsibility, a lot of responsibility that he had in his life, and overcome a lot of things that, you know, like a lot of us do. He overcame a lot. And again, like I say, might have made some mistakes like we all do. But in a lot of areas, he was a strong black man when he needed to be, you know. And I will never take, you know, because my dad didn't live with me. You know, him and my mom and him weren't together for a few years. And then like a few years down the road, they kind of linked up and, you know, and got back together. But it was after I was grown and, you know, my brother was grown. But it's not my brother's dad. And, you know, but I ain't gonna get too much into detail. But, you know, overall, you know, overcoming a lot of things, you know, that he came through takes a strong black man, you know. And there was points in his life where he you know, changed up and turned his life around. But, you know, he did the best he could with the life he was given in the time he was living in, because every era is different. But I will still hold that image of him as a strong black man, because that's what we need in this life for our young brothers, you know. Take a look at some of these young brothers out here and these strong black men in their lives. I don't care if it's a cousin, a friend, an uncle, a co-worker, a brother, you know, they need somebody. You always need someone, especially when we're young. We need that, always got to have something. You know, some of us are not fortunate to have this as a young brother. You know, someone to say, hey, man, you don't do that, bro. You know, don't do this. You know, I was fortunate enough to have this when I was young, you know, because I always latched on to, you know, older brothers. You know, I never really hung with, you know, I had a lot of good friends that were the same age as me, you know, like back in my teens. But a lot of times I always had that angel in a brother that was a little older than me. Because, you look down, do a little introspection down through your life, you'll see those who are like angels, that guided you. You didn't see it back then, but, as we get wiser and get up in levels, we see it. And I was fortunate enough to have that because, like I said, my father was in my life, but he didn't live with us. So it was some days, I might didn't see him, but we lived in the same city and I knew where he lived. And, it's still fortunate that he was in my life. So I don't take that for granted, so because there are those, and, like I've made mistakes in my life with my children. I was off and on in their lives, but not like I should. But they do know their father. They know who their father is. So, and some children, whether, son or daughter, are unfortunate. You got some out there that don't know their father, and mothers too. But this is about appreciating the black man. I'm not, like putting black men over black women or nothing like that. I've done podcasts on women too, but I, just had my dad in my spirit, and he transitioned probably about 2-3 years ago, and I just want to, just keep his spirit strong, and keep it with me. And I didn't make it to the funeral. I didn't go to, not that I didn't want to now, but I didn't make it to the funeral. But you know how people have different perceptions of you. But I'll be honest, I don't like funerals. Seeing a lifeless dead body, it just, I don't know, it does something to me. But that's not why I didn't go. It's just unfortunate timing, and I'm out of town and I didn't make it. But I love my dad dearly and will always, that's why you can't listen to the outside world, because you, we know us. No one knows what we feel on the inside. So we just got to stay connected to that higher power, the higher force, greater creator, higher supreme being, mother nature, universe. I draw down all power. We got to be powerful, and I draw that energy from my dad. And any strong black man that is currently living and has transitioned, that left an impact on this world, and was willing to go through the fire, tooth and nail, was willing to do anything to put out that good energy to our young brothers. So rest in peace and in power those that before me that transitioned, that whose legacy is still here and alive today. Because when you a true strong black brother, to the pit of your soul, your legacy will live on. I don't care how others try to tear it down. A strong black man, a true strong black man that's connected to that higher supreme being, it's nothing you can do to tear down their legacy. And nothing, the truth always come through. Because none of us, we heard this saying before, the truth, we don't have to defend the truth. The truth defends itself. So a real strong black man, and that feel it all through their body, man, defends itself. You will know it when you're in a strong man's presence, a strong black man's presence. So that's why I say appreciate the strong black man, and always know that a brother has been through something. All of us has been through something. We should know this now. You have some that don't want to heal, and of course, but we can't let that stop us. We have to keep healing. It's always, no matter what we do on this walk, where we go, what we learn, what knowledge we have, it's always going to come down to keeping oneself in check. We have to do self-checks on ourselves, especially these days, and this technology and this AI and all these computers. And I mean, it can really have you cloudy and foggy, and we got to stick with that true, that real divine reality. And because as I heard a sister say, I don't ever take people's sayings or things people say. I take it and I put it in my righteous spiritual bank, spiritual memory bank. And again, I agree with this sister. Remember, this is not mine. Someone else said this. And, talking about the AI and computers and stuff. I mean, if you're not aware and you're overwhelmed by a lot of this technology, it will mess up your own reality and have you messing up relationships and, and friendships you have with people. And I mean, I'm telling you, the studying the psyche these days is the best education you can have. You better know your psyche. And that's real talk. And this goes for me too. That's why I take times off social media. And because when you do this, I've said this before, when you assess and reset, you can think about things. Things will enter your spiritual memory bank, or your spiritual creativity. Things come up, when you slowly meditate and think about things like stuff about my dad here. He's always in my spirit, as well as my mom, my family, my children. Man, powerful brothers and sisters I've met along the way, and that's either in the world, online. It's amazing, man, when you just seeking righteousness. It's that simple. It's not like, I don't care how corny people say it is. When you live in it, brothers and sisters, it is not corny. It's the gift that keeps on giving, And all you gotta do, you don't compare oneself to nobody else, but you just assess, different individuals, different situations, and compare righteousness to the opposite of it, and just, assess your life. You are a righteous brother, or sister too, but this for the brothers. You are a righteous brother. Look at those who are not. And it's not really all about trying to be this perfect person. It's just trying to be as right as we can possibly be. And why is it so important, my brothers, to be as right as we can possibly be? And that's young or old. Because what I always say, we got family, children, significant other. A great divine always has a plan for us down the road. But if we're doing evil, jealous, toxic, desperate, and doing anything to get attention or money, and we don't give a damn and will step on anybody to get it, of course that plan is not going to work out when it comes down. That's a given. Karma. You know what I'm saying? Karma, karma, karma. You want to conquer your life and have less problems and overcome all kind of challenges? Study karma. Try to do as right as we can. And if we do make a mistake, correct that mistake. If you got a genuine brother that's coming to you and pointing out that mistake, and then if he's genuine and he's not coming at you wrong or no kind of way, accept that mistake. Because even though we get to a level where we're knowledgeable and we're aware, we might miss some things here and there. But if you're true to the pit of your soul, you will never take person, place, or thing personal. You will analyze that situation and use it as something to improve and be better on. You know what I'm saying? Because when we heal oneself, when we're healed, like my dad, he went through his little tough challenges in his life, but he put things in place to heal himself, as well as my mom too. Like I said, melanated brothers and sisters, but I'm talking about brothers, but we all have come through that. What do I even say it? We all have been through something, whether it was some just worse than others. It all depends on how strong we are as a brother, to handle it. Because I will never act like I'm this perfect brother and I do everything right. Shit, hell no. That's what make us the strong brothers we are, accepting our mistakes and we know not to do it again, and certain things we don't do if we want to stay on this righteous walk. And that's something one has learned. When we I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you, brothers, and this young or old, and those that are aware of reaching cheating, they already know, but I'm going to tell you what will keep you powerful and keep you protected and keep you from giving in or being swayed to the, to the things of the world and the social media and the porn and the sex chat rooms and the AI and and the fake celebs and all these different things that just surrounding us. I will tell you the one thing that will keep you powerful: when you get by yourself and you just shut out the noise and you meditate. Think about the things that are important. Think about our health. Think about the future. Pay attention to the present and connect to that higher supreme being. And we know what the higher supreme being is, right? The God, not any God, because that's the only God that I'm connected to. And again, it's not a he or a she. It's a being that none of us can see. Never put a label on something that powerful, because it's more powerful than anything. You know, the devil ain't got shit on that higher supreme being. Don't care what nobody say. Salute to that higher God. You know, I wouldn't be here. My family wouldn't be here. My children, you know, reachers and teachers, brothers, you know, sisters too. But brothers that, man, has put something in me. Well, it's like we have things in us, but sometimes we don't, you know, we don't either understand it or we don't know how to bring it out. And sometimes we can meet the most powerful brothers that in our lives that can just bring different things out of us, you know. And it's when we can accept it and we heal and we become powerful, and we can do a lot of like when we have, you know, whatever kind of situation we're coming into, something that's very, very vital or important. Always go into them times to yourself and think, you know, because this media, man, it's like once you put something out there, and man, woo, it's like it's hard to get out of it, you know. So just got to be careful on this walk, because especially if we have children, you know, and a significant other, you know, and family, which a lot of us do. So those are the reasons why we keep oneself stable the best way we can, and always be that strong black man. And I will always appreciate a strong black man, a strong brother, you know, because I know we've been through a lot. I would never hate on thy brother, you know, unless they just evil and toxic and malice and don't give a fuck about nobody or themselves. Now, I gotta detach from that kind of stuff, because remember, a lot of us have come up through different levels and conditioning, as I hate to say that so much, but you know, and so we become a mirror. Those that are aware, those that are, you got a heightened self-awareness, we become a mirror. So we see things that we used to do in others that haven't reached that level, you know. But brothers like me, we are always willing to help. We will help anyone heal, but we can't, you know, you can't feel some kind of way. You have to let yourself want to be healed. You know, that personal shit is gonna stop any kind of healing. Been there, done that. You got to fight those inner battles. I don't care what we got to do, and this young or old, you know, to be a strong black man. I don't give a damn what kind of inner battles we have. Fight that shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't let that shit fester. I mean this, because just always say, if you want to know how I know these things, just open your eyes and take a look around. That's all you got to do. Look at those that are not in touch with themselves. And I don't make light of things like that, because I know what it can be like to I don't know, to be confused in your mind. I know how this society can have you, this system, you know, this technology. I know how it can get to you. It can have you caught up in the web and you don't realize it. So that's why you have to analyze things, step back and do a little introspection on your life from time to time, and always assess things, you know, just to keep yourself in order, you know. Again, we have children, family, significant other, you know. I know a lot of us have children. So, and I'm telling you, karma always come back around. That great divine is always going to teach us. Time is the best education. It's the best teacher. Time will always tell. Time has never let us down. So that's why it's important. The energy, I always say, we have inside, harbor, so it can come out the right way. You know, we don't have to push and pretend, and just be ourselves. Man, we can breathe. Whoo, you can breathe when you just be yourself, you know, and even through the mistakes, and sometimes the little human thing, you know, like getting nervous, and because, you know, I used to be like that, you know, get nervous, and I used to be able to hide it real well, but inside I'm nervous in the mug, you know. But I've learned to embrace that nervousness and just embrace that I'm just a human being, you know. I'm not a fucking robot, you know. I have to, sometimes that's how I have to talk to myself sometimes, like, stop it, you know. That you have to do that to yourself, like, stop it, you know. And look, we gotta stay strong. We gotta stay strong. We need strong brothers out here. And another reason, and salute to my dad, you know, a lot of these gifts and spirits, and when I say spirit, I mean talk about righteous spirit now, that I get, and I get it from my mom also, you know, all these great things that I'm doing now and all this creativity, where you think it come from? You know, it come from that divine. You that supreme being, of course, but it puts that power through our parents. Where you think all this stuff comes from? I didn't just come up with this stuff out of the thin air. My parents had to be creative. My dad had to have some kind of gifts. My mom had to be gifted, which I know, you know, and all I gotta do, like I said, doing introspection on our parents. The good things, the good qualities that we got from them. It's the most beautiful thing in the world, as well as my grandparents, our ancestors, like it's so many gifts in my family that I noticed. Like it's all kind of chefs in my family. I kind of touched on this before. I got chefs in my family. I got poets in my family. The gift of music. We got a musical ear. We know what we got, good taste. A lot of educated people in my family. Some went to college, some didn't. Very strong people in my family. We might have differences here and there, but I have to say, I have, and I, like I say, I appreciate the strong black man, and I really want to call down a protection from that supreme being to those families who have suffered loss or death of young kids or anybody that they lost in their families and have a lot of dysfunction. We have every family has a little dysfunction, but some are able to maintain and deal with it and fix it, and some not. That's why I say I call down that protection for those families who may have a little struggle with dysfunction and stuff. I don't make light of things like that and hope that their families become stronger and get better. And that's the little brothers or sisters' families. But this is about a strong black man, because I've been through my little struggles, and different things in my family. And, back when I wasn't aware, did a lot of dumb, stupid ass shit, really did. And, and I don't try to keep going to the past, but I don't want to never make myself come off like I've been perfect my whole life or I'm perfect. That's why I kind of do a little introspection to let those brothers know I have been there too. I know what it's like to be a little lost in our mind and when we're trying to find direction. Been there, done that. So all the hurdles we jump, the things we go through, the right choices we make is what make us the strong black man that we are today. So I'm saying all that because that's why I have my dad on my banner. And thank you, Dad, for the great gifts that I got from you and my mom, my grandparents. Like I said, our ancestors. We think all this stuff comes from. My dad. Now I'm gonna look at he had some mistakes he made on the challenging side, but we're gonna talk about the positive side of my dad because I always like to look at both sides. Now, Dad had I wouldn't say it was his church, but he wasn't a pastor. I think he was a deacon of the church, if I'm not mistaken. So he had a spiritual side to him, and he generally was a nice brother, a good guy. It's just life. Sometimes we give in to this life, but he was putting the pieces back together, and I think he lived I know he lived a full life, and he did most of everything he needed to do, in his time. He dealt with the cards he was dealt in his time, in his life, in his time of, being responsible and take care of things. So he was in my life, and I appreciate that. Because, again, there are brothers out there, maybe young or old, that either never met their dad or didn't have a good relationship or, so that's why I say appreciate the strong black man and the strong black dad, because it's not easy for some of us. So that was just something that was in my spirit, Take our time when we see, whether it's a young brother or older brother, when we see a brother that's acting a certain way or doing certain things, and that could be a celebrity in the media, let's go deeper and let's try to analyze the person, young brother, older brother, and see why they're doing different things they're doing. Let's try to get to that core before we just judge, because I'm learning to do this too, and see why, if there might be toxic or if they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. Let's study that individual and see what led up to why they're doing what they're doing. And let's try to figure each other out so we can help each other become a strong black man that's in so many of us. Some of us, especially the young brothers, some of them just crying out for help, and don't know how to ask for it, because they've been shown that certain things is the right way. And, just this conditioning, man, this conditioning have got so many of us fucked up. I've been there. I know what it's like. So, but we have to do things, and we have to surround ourselves in a positive circle. Even if it's not in a physical circle, even if it's online, we have to keep ourselves in that space so we can see that light. And then we'll see things. We'll be like, oh, man, why didn't I do this sooner? But if we're all mixed and mangled and toxicity and attention and money and we be, it's all cloudy, we won't be able to see the outcome. It's okay to enjoy your life, but it's a time and place for everything. Their future is going to come. Karma is going to come. You can't get away from Father Time or Mother Nature, So being a strong black man the best way we can, being accountable and be as authentic as we can possibly be. Man, we'll always prosper, brothers. I promise we'll always prosper. But what is worth doing, what is prosperous righteously, it sometimes takes work, because this walk is never easy, For some of us, that's why we always talk about being self-aware, so we can anticipate those things that might try to hinder us or try to stop us or hurt us, So, because we got those loved ones we're attached to. So that's just something I wanted to speak on. Whenever I got something in my spirit that I'm really feeling to the gut, as my son said, Lord Lamont, I'm going to share it, And again, we're leaders and teachers. We are not followers. So with a student spirit. And I thank those, again, that's been with the brother. Current subscribers, current subscribers, new subscribers. Salute at Great Divine. Always got a plan for us. And salute to the real like-minded reachers and teachers, the real brothers that I have come across, and that's in the world or online. Thank you for sparking that spirit in me that I always had, but didn't know how to bring it out. If you brothers only knew, and I'm talking about brothers I met online too, have really helped a brother get to a good state. And I never thought I'd be doing this. So that's why I say appreciate the strong black man. When you really truly connected, you'd be amazed how your life can be so powerful. So I thank those reachers and teachers and my family for sticking with me through the times when sometimes I didn't even deserve it. My family is the reason I'm here today. My mom and, telling you. So it's the most beautiful thing in the world. But but again, it's about my brothers. Thank you. Like I say, I'm going to say it again. Appreciate the strong black man. So salute reachers and teachers, the real reachers and teachers. Emphasis on real. I honor your family. I honor my family. I honor my children. I honor their mothers, brothers and sisters all over the world. May you keep that ultimate peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now. And my brothers that's that's lifting and reaching and unapologetic and a straight soldier out here. Salute. I thank you. Never stop. That Great Divine always got a plan for that strong black man. Salute.